When mindset becomes the starting point of change. There's something fascinating about successful people that often goes unnoticed. They don't just work harder, they think differently. Not in a random, spontaneous way, but through deliberate, practiced strategic thinking. In a world that evolves by the minute, the ability to think strategically is no longer an advantage, it's a survival skill. Imagine if you could see the next moves in your life like a skilled chess player. How differently would you make decisions? If you could truly see the big picture, would you still waste energy on trivial distractions or minor conflicts? Strategic thinking isn't just for CEOs or leaders. It's a skill anyone can learn and master, to stop being swept away by events and instead lead their own life. When you learn to see ahead, act intentionally, and respond wisely to any situation, you become the architect of your own future. In today's journey, we'll walk through 7 powerful strategic thinking strategies, principles that will help you make smarter decisions, solve problems faster, and build a stronger mindset every single day. Sparkles, this isn't a dry lecture. Each strategy is a practical perspective you can apply immediately, whether you're running a business, starting something new, or simply seeking a more intentional way to live. Before we begin, if you'd like to receive the free ebook, The Art of Decision Making, a gift to sharpen your thinking every day, hit subscribe. Turn on the notification bell, and comment, gift, below. Let's start by upgrading your mindset. Identify the real problem, not what you see, but what you don't see. One of the biggest differences between reactors and leaders is vision. Reactors see what's happening right now. Leaders see the bigger picture and act accordingly. When facing a problem, they don't just ask, how do I fix this now? They ask, if I fix it this way, what happens 1 month, 1 year from now? This is the essence of strategic thinking, not just looking at the present, but placing problems on a longer timeline. When you widen your perspective, you're no longer trapped in short-term emotions. You start making decisions like someone holding the map, not someone lost in the maze. Imagine you're in conflict with a colleague. If you react emotionally, you might argue, create tension, and solve nothing. But if you look ahead and ask, what do I want this relationship to be like in 6 months? You'll act differently, calmer, more strategic, and focused on a long-term outcome. Pushpin Strategy 1. Every time you face a major problem, step back and look further. Don't just ask, how do I fix this? Ask, what do I want to happen next? This mindset is especially crucial in work, business, and personal relationships. Emotional, short-term decisions often cost us in the long run, while vision-driven decisions create lasting impact. I once had a friend working in a high-pressure environment. When criticized, she used to react harshly. But after one outburst that jeopardized a project, she started practicing, step back and see further. She asked, if I respond differently, how will this look in 3 months? Everything changed. Not only did her work improve, but her relationships with teammates became stronger than ever. Small diamond. When you can zoom out, you stop being a victim of the situation. You become the designer of the outcome. And here's the beauty of it. Long-term vision doesn't just make you a better problem solver, it makes you calmer, less stressed. When you can see the road ahead, the bumps don't scare you anymore. Right finger, a question for you. Is there a problem in your life right now that you're standing too close to? If you step back and view it from a 6-month or 1-year lens, how would your actions change? Systems thinking, when everything is connected. When facing a problem, most of us rush to find answers. But those who think strategically begin by asking the right questions. Smart answers always begin with smart questions. Here's the thing. If you ask the wrong question, no matter how smart you are, you're solving the wrong problem. But if you change the question, your entire direction shifts. Strategic thinkers don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, how can I use this to move forward? Pushpin Strategy 2. Invest time in crafting better questions before rushing to find answers. Real-life example. A young entrepreneur failed in his first marketing campaign. At first, he asked, why don't customers care about my product? Right pointing arrow. That question led to self-blame and frustration. But then he changed it to, how can I understand my customers better? Right pointing arrow. This opened a new path to market research, product repositioning, and success after 3 months. Smart questions share three traits. 1. They don't blame, they focus on solutions. 2. They open up possibilities, not trap your mind. 3. They lead to action, not endless analysis. Once you build this habit, you'll find yourself calmer when problems arise. Instead of panicking or blaming, you become like someone holding a flashlight, illuminating blind spots you couldn't see before. In a mindset workshop, I once asked students, when you face a tough situation, what's the first question you ask? Most replied, why me? But when they shifted it to, what can I learn from this? The entire atmosphere changed. The problem was no longer a burden, it became a lesson. The beauty of smart questions is that they create better emotions, helping you act more effectively. When your brain focuses on solutions, it turns on the green light for creativity and clarity. Right finger a question for you. What was the first question you asked yourself the last time you faced a problem? If you changed it into an open, solution-focused question, how would the story have changed? Inversion thinking. Sometimes the fastest way forward is backward. When facing a problem, most people's first reaction is an emotional outburst, anger, worry, self-blame, or fear. But the truth is, strong emotions often cloud our ability to see the problem clearly. Strategic thinkers know that emotion and problem are two separate things. Emotion is a reaction, problem is a fact. If you let emotion lead, you'll circle in negativity. But if you detach emotion from the problem, the path becomes visible. Pushpin strategy 3. When a problem appears, don't solve it right away, regulate your emotion first. Imagine wearing glasses fogged with steam. No matter how beautiful the view is, you can't see it. Negative emotions are like that steam. The first step isn't to find the way, it's to wipe the glasses. Real-life example. A young manager at a startup received news that his project was cancelled. His first reaction was panic, blame, and self-criticism. But after an hour-long walk, deep breaths, and journaling his feelings, he regained calm. Only then could he look at the facts and find a way to salvage the project. Strong emotions are like big waves. If you jump into the ocean when waves are high, you'll be swept away. But if you wait for the tide to calm, you can swim steadily. Strategic thinkers know the power of timing. They allow emotions but don't let emotions take control. There are many simple ways to detach emotion. 1. Walking or deep breathing. 2. Writing feelings down to clear your head. 3. Talking to a neutral person. 4. Waiting at least 20 minutes before making any critical decision. This doesn't mean you ignore your emotions. On the contrary, you observe them calmly, like a spectator. When you realize emotion is just a wave, it won't drown you. In many tough situations, the solution is already there. But only when your mind is calm can you see it. Practical thinkers don't fight in the fog. They step back to see the full picture. Right finger a question for you. The last time you faced stress, did you react emotionally or regulate your emotions first? If you had wiped the glasses before acting, what might have changed? First principles thinking. Return to the core to find solutions. One of the most common mistakes in problem solving is making decisions on impulse. Especially under pressure. In those moments, you're not truly solving the problem, you're just reacting to it. Strategic thinkers, however, choose to think by principles. Pushpin strategy 4. Build core principles as your compass for decision-making. Emotions can shift by the hour, by the minute, but principles are steady like a compass. When you have a clear set of principles, you won't be swayed by emotions, pressure, or other people's opinions. You don't act out of fear, you act out of conviction. Real-life example. A good leader won't make critical decisions in the middle of a crisis. They have unwritten rules for themselves. Never decide when angry. Double-check the facts. Only choose solutions that align with the long-term vision. A historical example is Abraham Lincoln. When facing fierce criticism, he often wrote a response letter immediately, but he didn't send it. He kept it overnight. The next morning, when emotions cooled, he reread it and decided by principles, not by impulse. This practice helped him avoid reactions that could damage his reputation and shaped his image as a calm, wise leader. Briefcase in modern times. A clear example is Ray Dalio, founder of one of the world's largest investment funds. He built a life principles, system so clear that every company decision refers back to it. When markets swing wildly, instead of panicking, he and his team just return to the principles. Principles are like the pillars of a bridge during a flood. When the water rises, they don't get swept away. They help you hold your direction, especially when everyone else is losing control. To build your principles, start simple. 1. Identify 3 to 5 core values you truly believe in. 2. Write down your unwritten rules for times of crisis. 3. Practice responding based on those principles until it becomes instinct. With clear principles, you'll be less caught up in emotional storms. You don't need to chase every opinion. You have an inner map to act with clarity. Right finger a question for you. If a crisis hit today, what 3 principles would guide your decisions? If you don't have them yet, today is the perfect time to write them down. Scenario thinking, not just one plan, but many moves ahead. When facing a big problem, many people feel overwhelmed, lost, and don't know where to start. This feeling leads to procrastination or panic. But the truth is, no mountain is too high to climb if you know how to break it down. Push-pin strategy 5. Turn a big problem into small, manageable steps. Many think successful people can solve crises in a flash. But the truth is, they don't solve everything at once. They break problems down into smaller parts and tackle them strategically. Step by step. Imagine you have to clean a very messy house. If you stand in the middle of the chaos and think, I have to clean it all, you'll probably give up. But if you say, today I'll just clean the living room, you've found a starting point. Once you finish, momentum carries you forward. Briefcase everyday example. A young employee was assigned to handle a project that was 3 weeks behind schedule. Instead of panicking or blaming, she started breaking it down, checking each task's status, listing priorities, calling stakeholders one by one. Each small step untangled part of the mess. After 5 days, the project was back on track. Family man woman girl. The same applies to family. When a heated argument between parents and children erupts, you can't solve the entire emotional storm in one talk. But you can start with the smallest controllable piece, listening without interrupting. Once the tension cools, deeper issues can be addressed gradually. This is the essence of strategic thinking, entangling knot by knot. Not charging into a big war. You don't need one giant leap to change everything, just one right first step. Remember, a big problem doesn't require a big solution. A simple, well-placed action can unlock the whole situation. To apply this strategy: 1. Write out the entire problem. 2. Highlight the parts you can tackle now. 3. Prioritize from easy to hard. 4. Take one step at a time, but keep moving. By breaking problems down, you reduce psychological pressure, regain a sense of control, and increase the chance of completion. This is how successful people conquer seemingly impossible challenges. Right finger a question for you. If there's a problem bothering you right now, how can you break it down? Which part can you start with today? Growth mindset. Instead of complaining, ask, what can I learn from this? Many people, when facing obstacles, react with, I failed, maybe this isn't for me. But those with true strategic thinking understand something very different. Failure is not the end. It's data for the next attempt. Push-pin strategy 6. Turn failure into raw material to try again smarter. In reality, no path to success is paved with roses. Anyone who built something great went through a phase of try, fail, learn, try again. The difference is not who fails less, but who uses failure as a springboard forward. Scroll. The story of Thomas Edison is a timeless example. While working on the light bulb, he went through over 10,000 failed experiments. When a reporter asked if he felt like a failure, he replied, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. What made the difference wasn't extraordinary intelligence. It was the belief that each failure holds a valuable lesson. That mindset turned what seemed like endless failed attempts into a historic breakthrough that changed how the world lights up. If Edison had seen failure as the end, the world might have progressed decades slower. This proves that strategic thinking isn't about avoiding failure. It's about walking through it intelligently. In modern life, We're the same. Whether building a career, growing personally, or nurturing a big idea, you can't avoid setbacks. But each fall isn't a loss, it's an experiment version. Remember, failure is only dangerous when you learn nothing from it. If you can extract the lesson, it becomes an invaluable lever. You can build this habit by 1. After each failure, write down the exact lesson. 2. Find a smarter way to try again. 3. See failure as part of the strategy, not the enemy. Edison didn't succeed by avoiding failure. He succeeded by turning failure into an asset. And so can you, if you persist. Right finger a question for you. If you face failure today, will you see it as the end or a data chapter in your strategy for success? Belief, vision, action. The pivot that shapes different outcomes. In every great journey, 3 torches light the way: faith, vision, and action. Without faith, you quit when challenges come. Without vision, you wander without direction. Without action, everything remains just a dream. Pushpin Strategy 7. Build a future vision big enough for faith to guide and action to follow. Imagine rowing a small boat out to sea. Storms and waves can strike anytime. Those without vision panic when they lose direction. Those without faith give up. But those with a lighthouse in their heart, they know where they're heading. And each stroke becomes meaningful action. In life, that lighthouse is your personal vision. It's not just wanting success, it's wanting to live a meaningful life. When your vision is clear, every obstacle becomes a stepping stone, not a wall. Light bulb. Many founders, leaders, and changemakers didn't succeed because they were smarter, but because they had deep faith in what they pursued. A real example. Imagine building a startup. You don't know the future. You face 100 rejections. Without faith in your vision, you'd collapse after the 5th no. But if you believe in the value you're creating, you'll rise after every fall. Scrolled. Thomas Edison once said, "My success is not due to talent, but because I never gave up." His vision wasn't just a light bulb, it was a world where every home is lit. That vision gave him the faith to try more than 10,000 times. But faith and vision alone are not enough. There must be action. Because the universe doesn't reward dreams, it rewards concrete steps. One small step each day, taken with consistency, will take you farther than those who only dream. Sometimes, action isn't grand. It can be sending one email, making one brave call, deciding not to delay. But these small actions are what turn vision into reality. Right finger a question for you. If you truly believe in your vision, what one small step can you take today to get closer to it? Because those with faith as their compass, vision as their map, and action as their path, not only go farther, they become an inspiration to others. Conclusion. The game begins with your mindset. In the end, the 7 strategies you've just explored are not just nice ideas, they are battle-tested principles, proven by millions of people on their journey to growth and impact. Right finger strategy 1. Step back to see the bigger picture. Right finger strategy 2. Map the problem, not just the solution. Right finger strategy 3. Think in probabilities, not absolutes. Right finger strategy 4. Untie the core knot. Right finger strategy 5. Layer your thinking, simplify complexity. Right finger strategy 6. Flexible thinking, shift perspectives to break through. Right finger strategy 7. Vision thinking, faith leads, action opens the way. Pushpin. It all begins with mindset, but it only becomes real through action. Because the gap between dreamers and doers is not luck, it's the first step forward. When you decide to change your mindset, you don't just see problems differently, you begin rewriting your own story. Remember, people who make a mark are not those who had the best start, but those who had unshakable faith, a clear vision, and relentless action. Magic wand. You may not control everything that happens, but you can always control how you think and respond. And that's your real power. High voltage. This isn't just a video. This could be the moment you begin again from your own mindset. Right finger. If this brought you value, don't forget to subscribe, comment, gift, to get the free ebook gift, The Art of Decision Making, and share your reflections below. Seedling. Because the smartest investment is investing in yourself.